Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm just sitting here and doing some Diamond Art Alice in Wonderland for, like I said in one of my previous, I think my intro, for my best friend. She's entrusted me to do it for her office wall. She's got the cat out of Alice in Wonderland hanging on it, and she's looking forward to having this one sort of hang next door to it. So I'm just going to do a little bit of it now, and if you'll join me just to do a little bit, and yeah, we'll do a bit together. She's beautiful, as you can see. I've got plastic over her at the moment, over this bit. So as you can see, if I zoom in, you can see how much I've actually done and how beautiful they are. I don't know, can you see that? Absolutely stunning. Diamond Art Club always have special beads in with them, which in this case are these orange ones here. I don't know if you can see them, they're extremely shiny, look. If you can see it, if I just zoom in, I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. It's the orange ones, look, you can see them, or I can see them, they're just sort of mixed in with her hair. But she's very, very pretty. And that. So I'm just doing some of the black at the moment. As you can see, there's a lot of it. So I'm just conquering some of that at the moment. You're more than welcome to sit with me while I mumble through. Okay. So I leave the plastic down on the bits that I'm not actually using because I don't want to damage the the sticky bit by putting my hand on it. So I'll leave the plastic down on the bits I'm not doing. Now, for larger areas like this, I like to use, I think I counted it as an 8 earlier on. So that works really well for me. And then on the other end I have a 1 so I can keep them in control. So you can see that, which is pretty good. So now I've just got big boat, black beads, lots of them. So I just shake them from one side to the next, which is what puts them in the grooves in the boat. And then let me count those: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 it holds 9. Okay. Oh, before I forget, nearly forgot, I have a light board underneath. I like to keep mine on the maximum, that the highest setting. It's got 3 settings on it. They're fairly inexpensive. You can get them off of Amazon. Absolutely fantastic. Some people don't like them. They like them on settings 1, settings 2 and settings 3. It's, you know, it's entirely up to personal preference, but I like these. But by having the light box behind it, it means that I can read these, the lighter numbers, shall we say, that aren't very easy to see. And if all else fails with that, I also have my trusty light, which flips open, and I have in there a magnifying glass. So that's if I struggle to get and see any of them. Okay, so look then. This obviously moves about. It's just a plug-in one. Really is good going. It's definitely worth its money. Like I say, I think this one was £15 off of Amazon, so it's worth getting. Now when you put these down, you're not going to put them down heavy-handedly. You're just going to pop them on, line up the first one and just roll it up. Because you're not putting them on very heavy, it'll allow you to move them around if they're slightly out of place. which is fine because you've obviously not put any weight on it to stick it down as hard, so it does make it easier. I've got my single one at the other end for filling in small gaps like this one. Keep on top of that, otherwise you end up with bucket loads of single ones. Look. Okay, I'm just going to keep quiet now. You can pick up less if you want to. Sometimes it's like only 4. Like this one here is 5, and this one here is 5. So you can just pick up 5 if you want to. Trying not to, it's not so easy sometimes when you're in a bit of an area where you've not really worked much in there. It's difficult to put your hand down. Okay, I've got 2 that don't want to come out. Little monkeys. I have to say, out of all the makes I've ever done of the diamond art painting, that I think Diamond Art Club has probably got to be my favourite. The drills are completely the same. I mean, this one's a round drill. I have done one, a fairy, which was quite a large one. That was from Diamond Art UK, I think it was. I'd have to confirm that. But afterwards, once I've finished Alice, I'll do a comparison, because this is the second one I've done at Diamond Art Club. The first one I've done was a wolf, which was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. The only trouble is with them is when you come to an end, it's very, very disheartening. As fantastic as it is looking at it to be done, it's so, I'm gutted when you get to the end, because you've just like, oh no. I've done some cheaper makes, I won't say any names, which have been much more challenging. They haven't fitted as well. The drills haven't fitted as well, and they've been quite misshapen. I've only done one other, well, this is a round drill one. I've only done one square drill, which is the fairy that I've done, and she was absolutely beautiful to do. A lot of colour changing in it, which I'm sure you can appreciate. It gets quite difficult. But other than that, I love it. I love it. It's probably one of my most relaxing things to sit and do. I really enjoy it. That's the other thing, is if you use areas that you've already put your diamond art drills on, which is something that I do that, be careful, because sometimes when you put your weight or a little bit of pressure on your hand, because you don't want it to fall onto the sticky areas, sometimes it can dislodge your drills. So that's something you need to look out for, and try and, if you're going to sort of put any weight on them, to sort of sturdy yourself, try not to push when you do with your hand, because that's when it sort of pushes them over, just slightly. And obviously anybody who knows and has done any of these, if you move them slightly, they're very hard to move back, and sometimes you have to use a pair of tweezers, pull them off and re-stick them on, because if you push down hard on them, it makes it very difficult to move them. Which is why I like using this one that sort of does 9, because you're not pushing too much pressure on them, you're sticking them down afterwards, just to straighten them out and make sure they're as straight and in line that you want them to be. So just moving them up slightly. See how they're moving up really nicely. If you've got one that you've put pressure on and you try and move it, it just moves straight back, look. It's, try that again, look. See how it just goes back. They're very difficult to move once you put your pressure down on them. So it's just something to be aware of. If you need to move it of any great distance, because it's completely skew whiff or something, you would need to get some tweezers and just pull it off gently. Try not to damage the sticky backing. Which is easily done. I've got my Rottweilers sleeping here with me at the moment, on the floor snoring. The terrible snorers, as you can see. Okay. That's the great thing about Rottweilers, they're tired all the time. They're not the most energetic of breeds. But because I'm disabled, that works very well for me. I have to use a mobility scooter. So when that comes out, they're like, woohoo, let's go for a walk. But they don't like going far. And if you take them too far, they sit down. So you can't then get them to move. And sometimes you can't get them to move, even going and returning home by turning round. They still not happy. Before now I've had to be picked up in the car by my husband, because my eldest one, she can be very lazy. So she just makes me laugh and I love her so much. But we've got a puppy. He was 6 months old on Monday, just gone. And they're not the brightest buttons in the box. They're a bit on the dim side, but that also works for me. They are the most loving, beautiful animals that you would ever come across. Loyal. You've just got to know how to handle them, and with lots of love, lots of care. They're like my children. I love them very much. In fact, they probably get away with more than what my children do. They sleep on the bed. People say to me, why don't you stop them sleeping on the bed? That would stop the hair. But they're so sad when they can't get on the bed. It makes me sad, so I can't. That's what I've always done. That's what's had to happen. And obviously my eldest one has also followed suit. My younger one, sorry, Ernie. He's like that whole saying, naughty but nice. He's a little monkey. But you can't be angry at him at all, because he's just got those big old eyes. And they're both gorgeous. Right, so using this one, the 9 one, it goes quite quickly. And you will notice when I get towards the end, I'll take the 9 off and swap back to generally I use a 3 on one end and a 1 on the other end. But I will swap back eventually, because I look at it and I think, goodness me, it's going too fast and I want to keep it and savour it. So I return back to my 1 and my 3, which slows it down just a smidgen, but diamond art are funny like that. You can look at them and think, well, goodness me, you're doing all this work on them and they just never seem to go down. Then all of a sudden, you look at them and they're almost finished and you're like, well, when did that happen? They're funny like that. But very relaxing to do. Unfortunately, just one colour like I'm doing at the moment is slightly on the boring side. I will come to you later with another video. Might just tag it on the end of this one. And I'll just do some other colours and colour changing bits. I've got some on her shoulders that need doing. got one of these boards. This is really good, this board. I don't know if you can see it, if you look all the way around. And then down the other side on my desk. They are very good, well worth the money. I can't do it now without them. It's been an absolute godsend to me. Like I say, I've got arthritis, and leaning over the table to do it has been quite difficult, I'm not going to lie. So my friend looked and was like, I've got a spare one of these. That's Lucy Just Colour. And she does some absolutely beautiful colouring stuff. It is definitely worth finding her and subscribing to her. And if you don't mind subscribing to me, there's going to be lots of new videos coming out. I'm going to make some polymer clay animals. I've got a 90-minute challenge with some new called Mould It, which I've never used before, but it goes hard in 90 minutes, which is quite quickly when you're trying to do well, whatever you're trying to build. But I'm going to do a whole sort of lots of different things. I'm going to get some bookends. I'm going to try a bowl with Das clay, which my daughter might sit with me and have a go and make her own. She's 7, which would be nice. Some mother and daughter time. She's quite crafty like myself, and she's quite a good drawer, and she enjoys it just like I do. But she's that 7-year-old kind of bull in a china shop, let's get it done, rather than take your time and just check that everything's working as it should be and everything's how it should be each time you sort of build something. She hasn't got the patience for that. She just wants to get it done, which is, I'm sure, a normal 7-year-old. I can't actually remember. I've got 2 older children, one 20 and one 23, and a grandbaby. So my life is pretty full. So my crafts and my quiet time, I try to get quiet time. Not always happens when I'm invaded by all 3 children and my granddaughter, which is lovely, but then I get tired because they tire me out. Goodness me. They're like whirlwinds. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whirlwinds when they come in, which is nice, and I love it. But it's, like I say, it tires me out, so... Oh, that's a bit of sneaky one there, look. I don't know where he's come from. We'll stick him over there for a second. I reckon it's off of here. Yes. See how you can just move them because we... I didn't stick them on. If you do find that they're not moving over, just pull it out, push it in. Pull it out, push it in. And then they should do what they're meant to be doing. And then sometimes I run my finger over them just to make sure they're stuck down well. Make sure they're in the right place, because it's difficult to move them afterwards, like I said earlier. Right, okay, what I was doing is I put the black away in the bag, because I've got so many black drills to cover all this bit. I put mine in a bag because there were so many of them. When I first started Alice, it was actually up to about here, so it was absolutely manic. So I'm doing quite well with those, but I thought we'd perhaps have a little look at this bit here. I think this is her flower and this is the top of her shoulder on her dress. So I thought we'd just perhaps have a little look and do a couple of colour changes and everything. Right, okay, so the first bit we're going to do is over here, and these are number 4. So I keep mine in little containers like this, and then because, I don't know if you can see that, if you look there, it's got all the keys and that there for the different numbers and the different colours and how many of each there are and what they are. So that goes all the way up. So there's quite a few colours. Quite a few, look. Just so you can sort of see how much is there. Okay, so we're going to do this bit here. Like I say, I put mine in my containers. These little fours makes it easier to find them. I put the code on the top with the number, and then I've got trays of these, so they all fit in one tray, and I'll show you those later. So it just makes it easy when I find a colour that I want to do, which in this instance is number 4, which is this flower here. So literally I open it, got the full big boat, and I tip them all in. I do this because if I get called away for whatever reason, could be anything, anything, I'm a mum, as I'm sure the rest of a lot of you are, and dads, then I know when I come back, the one that's empty is the one that I'm doing, just so that I don't get confused on which one I'm doing. I mean, if you did, and you only emptied half in, you can sort of marry up the colours, but that works for me. It's just a quick, easy, oh, that's the one we're doing, that's the one we're doing, okay? Okay, so I'm going to change from my 9 that I had earlier, because I don't have a 9 in when I'm just doing smaller areas. And I'm going to put my 3 back in. Okay. So we're going to start on this bit over here. So, shape the boat. And then we're just going to, I can see I've got dog hair on this. Where that's come from. Tweezers. These ones are quite sharp, so do be careful, but they're brilliant. And then we're just going to squeeze underneath it, grip it, and I'd like to pull it. There we go. Do we get it? Yes. Okay. So now we'll start with the purples, which is number 4. Move your light behind. Move it along, or if you don't have one, it doesn't matter, as long as you can see them. So just in a well lit room. I mean, along with the light that I've got, my light board, I also have my light here, which just shines a little bit of extra onto, oops, that I've just knocked off the table. So yeah, it just shines a little bit of extra light on for me, which helps my eyes. Okay, so just line them up as you go, nice and neat. There is the checkerboard way of doing it, where you do every other, and then you do the next line, and then every other, and then you fill it in, and you go along doing it like that. I don't think the checkerboard is really for me, because I like using the 9. That's what makes it very difficult to use any of those, because obviously you put them on singularly in the checkerboard effect, and then it makes it so that it's like straightens it up, so it keeps them all straight for you. Or you can go online and you can buy it's like a corner, and it's like a straightener. Some of them you can put your beads and your drills into it, which holds it in place and keeps it straight. Some of them you just push it up against. Some of them have got a corner piece, so you can get it in a corner. I don't like any of all that faffing about. I like to just sit here and just play about with it as I go. Sorry about the door knocking, that's my dogs trying to get back in here. But they need to go out in the garden and have a little bit of fresh air with my husband. Who's laying a new patio for me. As my back garden's a little side garden, a bit uneven, and I need to in case I fall over. So he's just popping some patio down for me to make it more safer for me, which is great. He's brilliant at all that sort of thing. I think they've gone outside now, which is good. Oh, that was lucky. Fell off and went straight back in my large boat. I think that one was good, but the drills were very, very off in places. Although they were square drills, which is the only square drill one I've ever done, which took me a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's very satisfying. Yeah, that one I found that there was some drills in there that weren't exactly the same. Well, probably more than not. So that drove me a little bit mad, because you have to keep throwing them out, and then you're like, oh my goodness, am I going to have enough? Right, okay, so sweep them all down to the bottom. So I sweep them all down to the bottom, and then pick it up, and tuck it in, and just tap it at the bottom. And they should all just go in. If you drop one or two, don't worry. Just pick them up and pop them in, like that. Right, so luckily number 7 is the next colour, and that is number 7 here. So it's in the same 4 set, so that's good. So we're just going to use these ones next then. Open it up, tip them all into the boat. So they're a slightly darker purple than what we've just used. The other thing is the Diamond Art Club, their drills are definitely more sparkly. Whether they cut it differently, cut an extra side in, but they definitely do stand out more than normal Diamond Art. The square one, when I did the square one, which is my fairy from Diamond Painting UK, that was beautiful. The drills in the square drills are really, really lovely, because they've got a different marker, like it must be a different cut shape. But they're very, very sparkly as well. Not because they've been cut differently or anything like that. It's just because I think they're square. So I did enjoy the square one. But the one that I've got up on the wall is quite a large one. And that took me probably 3 weeks, maybe. Yeah, it must be 2 to 3 weeks. But I do sit and do it a lot when I can. I have a little some crafts corner my husband's made me, which I do spend a lot of time on, so it's great and I love it. Got everything to hand, my crochet and everything, which I will do a crochet video and show you my squares, my crocheted squares, which I'm making a blanket for my bed, so I will be showing you that. And later on I'm going to do a donkey from start to finish in the Fimo clay. So it might be worth sort of having a little look at that later. Goodness me, my dogs are at the door again. Trouble is, if I don't shut the door, it's just like so much noise. Not necessarily them, but okay, what we'll do is we'll finish your shoulder like we've agreed in the flower, like I said, and then what I'll do is finish it off until I've got a very small patch left, and then I will come back on and record the very end, finishing it, or once it's finished perhaps, and then I can put it up on the wall for you, and you can see how far and what it looks like. I think this one's going to be pretty amazing. Right, okay, so the next one I'm going to look at doing is this one. It looks like a little alien, 2 little eyes. It's just a round white circle with 2 little dots. Okay. Right, round little circle, 2 little dots, 8, 2, 3. So it just looks like a little alien. Right, there's quite a few of these. Ooh! It's like a black. Okay, this is like I say, it's a dark blue. It's a very, very dark navy blue. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. They almost look black, but they're not. They're very, 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 very dark, like a navy blue. Okay. So now we're looking for ones that look like aliens. So that's this one here. So it's just a transition from the dark to the dark blue to the lighter blue, and then obviously it's the flower and that. You can see it then. Right, so that's the flower pretty much done. You can see it, which is very, very pretty. It's this bit here. So now we're going to move over to this bit. And this is the top of her shoulder that now needs doing. So these are all aliens, which I call the alien marking. Look, two little round ones with two little dots in them. I don't know whether you can see that from there. That might be a little bit better. Okay. It's my husband. I'm sure would be horrified to hear himself in the background. Oh. Always have your tweezers to hand, because there's always one. It's a bit of a nightmare. Just doesn't like sticking. Sometimes they're caught on something and you're looking at them and you can't find, and they just don't look like they're caught on anything. So it's very odd. They have a mind of their own. Now when I use 3 or more, 9, whichever one I'm going to use, I don't like going this way. I'll only go up like that way, because I don't have as much control over it going horizontal. I only like to really go vertically, because I can see where my pen's going to be set down and where my beads are going to actually land. So I like to, but doing it that way, I never feel like they never just seem right in place at all. They always need bringing down. So I just find it quicker and easier to do it singularly if it's going horizontal. So I've got my 3 1 on the bottom, because the 3 1's quite handy, because it only it does a few at a time, three at a time, and it just works well. It's nice and neat. It's only 3, so it's easy to control, and they never seem to be out of place. And remember, because you're not pushing them down individually, they're not really being pushed down hard. So if there are some, like I can see a couple of mine not in the right shape, it's easy to move and then push them down after that. I'm terrible as well. If I push them down and I think, oh, that one next to it that I've done earlier on. Sorry, it's my dogs again. They are real monkeys. It's because they're so lazy. They don't like going outside for too long. They are all about sleeping. Very, very lazy breed. They like to go out for a walk, but they like sleeping equally, if not more. Lazy little monkeys. Little puppies. It's my babies. Okay, so we've nearly done that. Okay, oops, sorry. So now we're going to put these away. So I put them against my tummy, push them down to the end of the boat, which is where the goes into a point. Well, kind of a point, like that. Open the one that we've been doing, which is the alien looking one. Like that. And then slowly, if you've got a few in there, look, like that. Now don't be too hard on yourself, because it's taken me a while to be able to do that. Right, okay, so this in here is a round circle with a triangle. Now sometimes you can get them at the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right in the triangle, in this round circle. This one is in the bottom right. So always make sure that you don't get confused and mixed up with your shapes and your symbols. Otherwise you'll end up with all sorts of manner of different colours on different areas. So always look at it. A dead giveaway is the background is blue. So I know that my next one is blue. It's quite a lovely blue. It's because it's her dress. Okay. There we go. First ones. Again. See, so I can do the single ones quite as easily and just as quick as the threes. I can't wait to get her finished and give her to my best friend Lucy, so she can sort of hang her on the wall and see how proud, and make her proud. These diamond art paintings are very personal things, I think, especially the larger ones, because they take so long to do, and unless you're invested in them, because they do take up a lot of space, especially the bigger ones when you've got boards and things like that. So you need to be invested in them to be able to do them from start to finish, really. Otherwise you're putting it in and out, in and out, in and out, if you have to put it away each time. So always do look at the sizing, is a big part of it. But they are very personal when you buy them. It's what you like. It's personal choice. And me and Lucy seem to like the same things. And I'm honoured, really honoured, like I said earlier, that she would ask me to do it for her. So I want to do it at the best of my ability, and best of my knowledge for her. And then I can give it back to her, pop it in a frame, and I believe she will look absolutely stunning. She really will. I mean, right now she's looking... It's very difficult to see as well. When you look at an area and it's full of different shapes and all sorts of things like that in them circles, it looks very mixed, like very muddly, very hard to look at. But when you do it and the colours all come together and that, it really is satisfying to look at and see what bit you've just done. Like if you look at these now, the difference now that they are... on their way to being completed is grand. It's great. This is quite nice. This colour blue. It's a very sea looking blue. And this definitely reminds me of being under the sea. Okay. So it'll be nice because this will be the whole of her shoulder will be finished then. The other side's got like a little worm on her shoulder, so I don't know quite what that is. At the moment I can't see the shape of it because he's not finished. I know he's a little worm or something because there's a pair of glasses there. So like I say, it's difficult to see it before it's got the beads on it. Just sort of see, because it always ends up being something completely different to what you think it's going to be. To begin with, I couldn't even see that there was a fella there. I don't know whether that's my eyesight, probably. But now I've noticed I've done his glasses. You can actually see him, which I'll show you in a bit. What I'm going to do is once we finish his shoulder, I'm going to put this video on YouTube, and then when it comes to finishing it, I'll finish it for you and pop it up on the wall. You should always put them somewhere and roll a rolling pin over the top. It just makes sure that everything is flat, everything is well stuck down. Especially if you've been using the one where you've got 9 in it, or 3, even 3 in it. It's not going to stick as well as if you put them in individually. So running a rolling pin over just ensures that everything is well stuck down, which is always a good thing. And that there's none stuck up, because sometimes they don't quite fit in the hole, or the one's edge is stuck on another edge, or things like that, because you don't want any to fall off. So we'll rolling pin it. I rolling pin mine on the wall. Then I will show you round the diamond dark ones that I've done, and that's the Diamond Art Club, and I will put the fairy on there as well, which is Diamond UK, so you can see how pretty she is as well. That's with the square drills, and you'll be able to see, and we'll compare each one. So each is as beautiful as the other, but Diamond Art Club, their canvases are so soft to touch. This piece here is lovely. Right, so this one, this shape here, I believe is I don't know actually. See, this is quite difficult to read. Right, I think there's 3 lines going into one. I'll show you in a second. Where are you? Ah, there we go. Which would be about right, because it's dark blue. So this is the sign we were looking for. This one here. See how difficult that is. And when you've got it on a light background, and it's written in very light green, it's quite difficult. So I know that that's the next one that we're going to do. So we took them all in, same as normal. Okay. So I'll start off using my 3. I can hear my poor dog's panting. That's another reason really they should be outside, is because it's too hot in the bedroom, so it worries me they get too hot in here, so they really need to go outside and get a bit of cool air. The trouble is, it's very difficult to cool the house down to the point where it's sort of bearable, and it's quite muggy again today, which we don't notice it too much, but the poor dogs have got their fur and they're panting away, and they're very hot, so at least they're let outside in the hallway on the wood flooring, which should be cooler. It does sound like they're very hot. Okay, as soon as I finish this sleeve, I'm going to stop it, and then I'm going to come back and do another part of the film and upload another part when I've finished, and we can put her up on the wall and put her side by side on the other Diamond Art Club picture and Diamond Painting UK, and we'll see what happens there. And just see the difference between the two pictures. Maybe a short video, just a quick comparison. I have done others, like I say, but I can't put them on here with makes and whatnot, so it's a bit of a shame, but I think these are the best 3 qualities that I've done, 3 quality ones. Right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. One sleeve finished, other than these 4 here, which I will do quickly. Okay, so if you look, this is another round one with a triangle in it. This one is, the triangle is at the top, top right, top left. So that's this one. Oops. So it's a lighter blue. Right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So that's finished now. So I'm going to say thank you for watching.